Huge injury news with Devin Booker and Jalen Green. Who needs to step up in their absence, and can the Suns enter the All-Star break on a high note? All coming up next in the PHNX Suns pregame show. Psychos and sickos unite for a Please Finish Strong edition of the PHNX Suns pregame show. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details. The final pregame show before All-Star Weekend 2026. And the Phoenix Suns are 10 games above 500 going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 15th time this season. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for helping us get to 50K. A lot to dive into today. Injury updates, how the Suns can pull off a win. And we'll also have a watch-along today. Nobody's going to take care of you better than PHNX Suns. So hit that subscribe button. How are you guys feeling? We made it, pretty much, to the All-Star break. The Suns will, at worst, be 9 games above 500.
We hit. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. This break could not come at a better time for the team specifically. We'll still be coming here talking to you a couple times at 3 p.m. In between. Some of us will still be here. But again, we know who's not available. We know what the deal is. We know who's standing on the other side. But it should be a fun game. Maybe.
I feel good about, at worst, being 9 games over 500. This has been an unbelievable, first 3 months of the season. There's nothing to complain about on that front. Now, about tonight in particular, we can get into that.
Well, let's get into it. Of course, starting with the injury report presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. Yeah. So Grayson Allen, Isaiah Livers, we know they're out. They were always going to be out until after All-Star break when they'll be reevaluated. Who knows when they'll be back. Cole Anthony, Suns legend. Thank you for your time here. Out, not with the team. Devin Booker and Jalen Green were both listed as questionable coming into tonight with various injury management, of course, for the ankle and the hamstring. With those two, they end up being out. Are you surprised that we aren't seeing them, given the fact that we do have a very extended break after this?
I am not surprised that Jalen Green is out. I kind of thought that might be the case. I am surprised with Devin Booker because if you're not that you let him, but if you're having him go to All-Star Saturday night, be in the 3-point contest, play Sunday, why is he sitting out a game that you could use in the standings? Now, I'm guessing this was team decision, not necessarily Devin Booker going, please sit me out. But that's where I go, okay, that's bizarre to me. I don't know that that's right by the fan base as well, because your hometown fans pay good money to have those seats to go out there to see Devin Booker in particular, and you don't get him tonight because you want to rest him, even though you're going into a week-long break, and he's participating in 2 things this weekend. That doesn't add up to me.
Optically, it is a little weird. And last night we talked about it, and we kind of expected. One, we were happy that Jalen Green got to the game yesterday without any hiccups that we know of. And then we saw Devin Booker, and it's very different. An ankle is much different from something soft tissue like a hamstring. So it does kind of feel like more of like a pain tolerance type situation. And maybe it's just managing that. But again, like you said, he's about to be running around for 75 seconds, grabbing the balls off the racks on Saturday and playing for who knows how long in Sunday's All-Star game. So I just thought that optically a game that means something for this team, and maybe you're kind of punting on something that maybe is a scheduled loss. Like, I know that there is management of injuries. So a little surprising, but I guess there's a method to the
I
madness.
guarantee you won't see the NBA investigating it, though, because it's to their benefit
that
that
he's
Devin
playing.
Booker's rested up for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and you look over at the Thunder side of things, obviously a very big out for them in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with an abdominal strain. Also, Ajay Mitchell out with an abdominal strain. Those two killed the Suns the last time that they played. Obviously, Shai being the reigning MVP. Ajay Mitchell, one of the more, I don't say surprising, but newer faces that have been really making an impact on this Thunder team this year. So maybe the Suns felt like, okay, we don't need to push it. Now, you go back to last game against the Mavs. Jalen Green played 20 minutes. That seemed like it was his cap. He did not play again after he hit that 20-minute mark. Devin Booker did go up into 32, and we talked about it on last night's postgame show. The fact that maybe he wouldn't have had to do that if the Suns took care of better business. Dwayne Rankin asked Jordan Ott if that fourth quarter played into Devin Booker eventually being listed as out tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Dwayne. I mean, we know he pushed to come back as fast as possible. So we saw the back-to-back on the schedule here right before All-Star. So I'm not sure. He pushed to come back early, and we need him on the court. We also want him healthy. So I just think anytime you're going into a back-to-back, you're not going to feel quite right. And then as hard as he pushed to get back, I think that just all made him feel the way that he did, and we got to protect him from himself.
We got to protect him from himself, and then he came back really fast. And okay, I understand that. Espo, can you hand me the tinfoil hat? Thank you.
It's a little sweaty. I wore it a lot today.
Man, I got a big head. Okay, tinfoil hat here. We know that when this team is fully healthy, its offensive identity will look a little different as far as who's taking the shots and who's not. Tonight, they're giving the runway to Dillon Brooks. Luka might miss the All-Star game and saying, you want to score 30? You want to score 40? You want the glory? Well, guess what? It's yours. Go out there, take every shot, score every bucket, and make a statement in your final game before All-Star break so that if Luka misses and they need an All-Star reserve for the world team, Adam Silver has you at the top of mind. Thank you.
This is like
Thank you.
It's like an American Idol All-Star audition where they're gonna have a gold ticket waiting for him if he does enough in the game today.
You're gonna go to LA.
You're going to Hollywood. You're going to Hollywood.
You're going to Inglewood.
So you're going to Inglewood. Exactly. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I mean, they are going to need Dillon Brooks though tonight to be the guy that we've seen him be so often this season.
I want to take one step back to what Jordan Ott said. I do not like that they were like, well, Devin pushed and came back. Like, you were in control of that process.
Are you though?
I mean, if you're going to sit him today, then you should have just been in control of the process to begin with. If you're not, now I'm sure it's not. I'm sure maybe that was not exactly the way it was meant to be said, but still, the perception is always that Devin Booker is a guy that's going to push to get out there faster, and you appreciate that. But then if you're like, but we can't play him in the second game of a back-to-back, then it's like, should he have pushed himself that hard? And why is he participating in a three-point contest in an All-Star game if that's of concern? The whole thing doesn't sit right.
That's the weird thing too, because we talked so much and we kind of joked about it, but he did legitimately say that Devin Booker's an incredible healer, and he talked about him kind of being like.
I'm sorry, I think that's the funniest thing that I've heard him say all year.
An incredible healer.
He's an incredible healer.
But now here we are, like a couple of days later, saying, well, maybe he pushed himself a little too much and like whatever. And he talked about like kind of being ahead of schedule, and I know he didn't mean to say skipping steps, but I think he was just saying he was accelerated on the path to getting back on the floor. And I think now what we're seeing is maybe he really wasn't. That was kind of what they said. Or maybe he was, and this is just kind of the coach speak to justify him not playing tonight, regardless of.
That's kind of what I think it is. I think it's like, we were never going to play him on the second night of a back-to-back. We want to give Book the credit. People are, again, going to be like, oh, you're playing in the All-Star game and you're doing this. It's like, hey, he cares too much. Like that's kind of what it feels like to me. It's, oh, he wants to be out there, but us, oh, we're the evil ones. We're holding him back.
Saving it from himself.
He's just so heroic. He's such an incredible healer. You guys wouldn't understand.
To be fair, you both know I'm Italian. Armani actually translates to incredible healers.
Oh,
So there
does
you
it?
go.
Wow.
So yeah,
We learned
I mean,
something
it's
new
really
today.
his middle name.
It is really his middle name. We need Brooks to go Armani mode, but before we talk about who's playing tonight, I do think we need to spend just a second on Jalen Green. I thought it was a very encouraging game from him, and I do know that players are not players. I do know that fans are very frustrated at the fact that they have not been able to see Jalen Green string together more than 2 games. I mean, this is the first time he's gotten through 2 games fully healthy with no setbacks, but of course, to some people, this feels like a setback. From my perspective, I'm just glad that we can go into the All-Star break and he's not injured again. As selfish as that might sound.
Right. No, it's one of those things where it's like we said it last night. There are no issues, no setbacks, no hiccups with his situation, and it feels like honestly the planned part too. Because like coming in, the Mark Williams missing the second in the back-to-backs for knee injury management. Well, now it's hamstring injury management, and they're just trying to make sure that he has a long runway and not have any setbacks. Because as frustrating as it is right now that he's not playing and not able to play tonight, it'd be a million times more frustrating if he had any type of issue or tweak. But instead, his All-Star break starts early. Next Thursday, I expect him to be ready to go in a very tough test, and he's got 8, 9 days to actually just rest up and be better for that. And the thing I love to say, I remember back-to-backs in the playoffs. So as far as him not being able to play on consecutive nights, that sucks. But when it matters the most, he won't have to ever do that.
Well, somebody in the chat, and forgive me, I didn't see who it was. I don't remember, but said NBA needs to do away with back-to-backs. Yeah, you want to stop people from resting and sitting guys out? Stop with the back-to-backs.
Yeah.
I think that's a simple way to at least start it. You know?
Yeah, I think the people are kind of freaking out about this All-Star thing and the break afterwards. You can't treat tonight any differently because there's an All-Star break afterwards. You can't do that. You have to treat them as, are they good to play tonight? Having days off afterwards doesn't impact how they feel today. Now, they were both questionable. I'm sure that they want to play, but they've done this with Mark Williams a couple of times. I know that the Suns training staff has gotten a lot of flack. I'm not personally worried about it, but I also feel like I've been a lot calmer about this stuff than maybe people would expect or some people have, and I get it. Be a fan however you want to be a fan, and I'm not saying it's not frustrating, but to me, Jalen Green is entering the All-Star break on a high note. Devin Booker is going to be participating in All-Star weekend. I don't think that's why he's out tonight. I think he would be out tonight if they played in 2 or 3 days after this, right? But tonight's game is still important. And that's why I think there's frustration with fans is these games don't matter less because Jalen Green and Devin Booker are out. And they have a very good team to play tonight, even without Shai, a very potent OKC team. The starting lineup, we were talking about it before we went live here. Who's it going to be? Well, it is who we were talking about. Colin Gillespie, Dillon Brooks, Royce O'Neal, Mark Williams. Okay, that makes sense. Second guard starting, Jordan Goodwin. Last time he played the Thunder, 8 threes in a game.
We saw this a lot.
A lot.
We saw that a whole lot.
How do we feel about that starting lineup?
I think that makes the most sense. It's the logical choice to put Jordan Goodwin in the starting unit. Who's going to step up? We'll see probably some more Amir Coffey minutes tonight. Can Ryan Dunn build on what he did last night? And it's a scrappy group, a scrappy bunch, and that specific group, specifically Colin and Goody, are guys who can muck things up a little bit. And if you're playing against a team, even though the Thunder aren't at full strength, you're at a talent disadvantage. They can at least make it a little bit of a rock fight.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that you do go with Goodwin in that starting lineup. It's the same way Jordan Ott's kind of approached this starting lineup throughout the year. I hate to be the guy to bring this up, and I know that Shai's not playing, but the last time we saw this group without Devin Booker and Jalen Green take on the Thunder was the time that they lost by 49 points. So these guys better be locked in and ready to go and ready to turn it into that rock fight if it needs to be that, so they don't get the doors blown off of them, because there's nothing that would put you into the All-Star break in a worse way than getting your ass handed to you by this team when you've chosen to sit Devin Booker and Jalen Green out.
Not to pile on, But Grayson Allen played that game, right? And that was the last game that Grayson Allen played before he missed a month with his injury management at that point. The right knee injury management that was actually just a right knee injury. No three creators that are what you would say your best ball handlers, your best driving guards, and probably your best passers as well, outside of Colin Gillespie, who the first time the Suns played OKC had what was then his career high in points and three-pointers made. But then the second time when they got blown out had a really bad game and hasn't had a great game against OKC really since then. I still think, though, with this team and what I'm grateful for, and we're talking about a team that's 10 games over 500, has won a lot of games without these players, without Grayson Allen, without Devin Booker, and without Jalen Green, sometimes individually, sometimes altogether being out, is that they will always compete. I think the 50.1 was an outlier. It was an NBA Cup game. It was on the road, and that Thunder team was really clicking. They are missing Shai. It doesn't mean that they aren't really good and that Jalen Williams is having a homecoming game after getting his number retired at Perry High School where he played, but they don't have Shai. That is a very big deal for the Thunder.
Yes, not having the MVP of the league is a big deal. I agree on that front, and the optics are a little bit different for sure when it comes to that. And look, this team continues to go out there and compete. We've seen some things over the last 3 or 4 games where it hasn't lifted to the standard, but you better do it against the defending champs tonight.
And I will say a thing about OKC, and they're scary, and I'm guilty of getting caught up in it all. I was once saying, hey, this team might be able to win 75 games this year.
Well, could have if we didn't let him win by 50.
Right, 70 is the floor. And to your point, right, they're 41-13 now. So since that 50-point win or 49-point win, this team is 19-9. But since the Suns beat them at the beginning of January, this Thunder team is 11-7, which still nice above 500, but that's pretty normal. That's
5-5 in their last 10.
Right. And so they've been struggling a little bit without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the lineup, and just they've shown a few flaws in their ways because they're not at full strength. Watched them play over the weekend against the Rockets and lost at home to Houston, and the Houston team that has been struggling as well. They lost to them, and they barely held off a Lakers team who was also without a key player. So, yes, this Thunder team is great. They're still the favorite to win the championship for a good reason. But without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's MVP and Ajay Mitchell, who was supposed to play in the Rising Stars this weekend, 2 very key players, they are a team who has some vulnerabilities.
Well, let's talk more about the Thunder in our credit check brought to you by our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns. The matchup that everybody's talking about tonight is Coffee versus Joe. Let's talk about Isaiah Joe, because he has been very, very good over the last 4 games for OKC. 16 points per game, 48% from deep. That's right. 48% from deep, shooting 100% from the free throw line, 2.8 rebounds per game, 1.8 steals per game, and overall a plus 47 over the last 4 games. The hallmark of OKC is that when one guy's down, the rest can step up. They did it at the center position. They've done it at the wing position. Now they're doing it at the guard position. Just because there isn't a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Espo, doesn't mean that there isn't a guard that can go off, especially from deep.
Well, I mean, that's what's made this OKC team so good is, and very much like the Suns, obviously not to the same level of talent in your depth, but they have guys that just because somebody's out, they've got another group that's going to step up. That next man, Isaiah Joe, is one of them. And you can't take any of these guys lightly. We're in some games, like last night, you can sleepwalk for part of it, if you want to call it that, or let the refs manhandle you, whatever the case may be, and still get a win. Against a group like this team and with a guy like Isaiah Joe that comes in and steps in, you can't take a moment off.
The thing about Isaiah Joe is just a reminder of like the Thunder and like just their eye for what they do. Again, similar when we talk about this Suns franchise and their front office and what they've been doing. This is a guy who was waived by the 76ers right after training camp, and the Thunder picked him up couple seasons ago, and he's been a key part of their program and what it is they do. And he is on that short list of players in the league that every time he takes a three-pointer, I think it's going in. Mm-hmm. And he's somebody who you cannot afford to lose defensively because he's doing all this off the bench, no less. That's the other part about it. So he's giving their second unit a boost. Even when they have guys out, he's still coming off the bench and making shots and making big plays for this team. So somebody to keep an eye on, and somebody, when you talk about those second unit battles and that depth battle, even when you are down a couple guys, try to neutralize him.
It's him and Ryan Dunn, right? That's the list for
That's
you.
the list. This is also an OKC team that still has another all-star in Chet Holmgren, who we've seen give problems to this Suns team this year. Jalen Williams, who's still trying to find his own. Last game, he did get to the line 13 times. And if you remember, one of the frustrations with some of these OKC games has been that physicality level and, OKC drawing fouls and maybe not getting it the other way. And coming off of last night, the Suns are obviously used to that, but that can still be a hard valley to overcome. And then, of course, you've got those defensive pests. You've got the Lou Dortz, who's always going to be in doing something. He's an ASU guy. There are times where I love him, and there are times where I hate him because he is definitely a positive player, but sometimes he does it in a very negative way. Cason Wallace is a very good two-way player as well. Alex Caruso is somebody that can go in there and instantly change a game. Last game against the Lakers, he had 17 points in 24 minutes to add to his defense. They just get a little bit from everybody. And that is why they are 41-13. Take whatever you want to take away from the last 10 games. This is an absolutely elite team. This is the number one team in the NBA, even when they're missing stars. And they are one of the best defenses. Head coach Mark Daigneault talked about what makes both the Suns defense and the Thunder defense so good.
Do you have the discipline and execution and fundamentals to handle the beginning of the possession? That forces the offense into their layers, which allows your defense to get to your layers. And that's, like I said about the recent question about Phoenix, that's the thing I think they've done really well is they're not giving you anything easy on a very consistent basis. They're making you earn what you get, and they're getting you into your layers on offense, which lets them get to their layers on defense. So it's a credit to what they've done.
Do you think with both teams, the extended pickup points is an important layer to being able to get to that next tier of kind of weaponizing the shot clock?
It starts the fight for sure. You got to have the personnel to do it. And so Wallace for us is usually the guy that's up there. It's like you're not just like beating him, and if you are, you're doing it at a pace that you don't want to play at, and so that's a huge tone setter. But if you or I were up there pressuring the ball, they'd just go by us, and then you'd be 5-on-4. Not that I've never seen you play. Sorry. There's a reason we're each doing our respective jobs.
Every coach likes Steven.
Huh?
Every coach likes
Yeah,
Steven.
because he's not asking, hey, what's the drama?
Like, I don't think Mark Daigneault's ever smiled like that.
Except Mark Daigneault is doubting Steven's point of attack defense.
That is true.
And that is a problem.
Steven's more of a post defender, though.
Well, that's fair.
Stop liking Steven, coaches. He's ours.
But that point of attack defense is a good thing. You think about the personnel on both of these teams. Talk about Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, who are both available tonight. And for the Thunder, Cason Wallace, a guy, Lou Dort, who you just mentioned, Alex Caruso, the guys you just mentioned, the personnel to be able to pull that off is the key to the defense. And then you think about in the back line, having Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm curious to see how that double big lineup impacts the Suns as well with their defense. But, I just think that's the rock fight we talked about, right, Espo? Like, how can the Suns, we say it so much, like, make the Thunder play this game on their terms? And you don't necessarily need the talent to do that. You just need a little more effort to do it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how the Suns respond tonight. We will be watching together for a watch-along on this very channel, so make sure you tune into that. That can get off the rails. Gil and I talked about food for like 15 minutes, and it was a super fun conversation. If this game gets out of hand, we'll play some fun games. We'll do some stupid stuff. Or if it's a really close game, boom, hard-hitting basketball analysis in real time, all on our watch-along here. We also still have our villain shirt that is live that you can purchase at gophnx.com. Rep our all-star, a true all-star, hopefully has a great game tonight. I heard that for every shirt that you buy, Dillon Brooks takes a better selected shot. So, just put that out there. Go support over at gophnx.com. Super chat here before we get into our pre-game picks. Math to the power of Joe, who's just awesome. In the diehard member, is super chatting, just Awesome. Thank you, Math to the Power of Joe.
I don't like the math part, but the rest of it works.
I like to the power of Joe. Hopefully this is an Isaiah Joe. Says, I think the Mavs found a weakness in our defense. Suns are so physical, they are more likely to draw fouls if they attack the rim.
That makes me think about what Dillon Brooks said earlier about how certain teams like kind of have to earn the goodwill to get the benefit of the doubt from officiating crews. And
Funny coming from him.
And I don't know if him saying that helped them get that benefit of the doubt, but 44-9 would suggest that they do not get that benefit of the doubt.
Dude, I can't revisit that crap from last night. Hopefully we don't have to revisit it again today. One thing that I keep on revisiting, it's haunting me in my dreams, is our pregame picks presented by our friends over at Bet365. And I've had some bad dreams lately. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Jump scare.
Let's go. Let's look at this.
Yeah, we're good.
Ayrton's almost back in the
Ayrton in a positive like 49 cents. I'd kill to be positive.
59.
I'd kill to be positive 59. I'd kill to be positive 1 cent. I'd kill to be
there.
Metaphorically.
just lower in the negative, which is what my goal is tonight with my picks. Calm little 3-leg parlay. I'm not trying to dig myself out of a hole, which I can't say without thinking about what you said a couple of shows ago, where it's like, well, how do you dig yourself out of a hole? Really mess with my brain. But I'm taking Jalen Williams, 20-plus points, return for him. He's still trying to find his groove a little bit, but he is somebody that gets the line. Like I mentioned, he got his jersey retired at Perry. The whole OKC team went out last night. I think he's going to have a good game. Jordan Goodwin over 1.5 3-pointers made. Took this before he was starting. Now I feel really good about this one. They got Mark Williams over 8.5 assists and rebounds. I do think it's a tough matchup for him tonight, but I think he can get to 9 assists and rebounds combined at a plus 525 with a 25% profit boost. Espo, what are you putting your money on? How are you digging up?
I am dropping the jet pack into the hole. I'm going Dillon Brooks, 25-plus points. Colin Gillespie, 20-plus points. Jordan Goodwin, 5-plus assists at a plus 7,500 with a 25% profit boost. I will be like 500 in the plus after tonight when I hit.
I don't hate that bet at all.
Especially
I don't
now.
hate that bet at all.
I hedged it. I did it before I knew both of them were out, and I said I'm going to take this as if they're out and get the better odds, and that's where I landed. So
There you go.
What are you doing, Gil?
Well, apparently, according to Craig, all drinks are on me. We can go anywhere that has a freestyle soda machine. Get involved with that. All of them are on me. I got you.
Freestyle soda machine.
Yes.
All right. Big time.
But also free refills.
Fancy.
That being said, pretty straightforward. Colin Gillespie, 10-plus points. Isaiah Hartenstein, over 13.5 assists and rebounds. Casey Wallace, 10-plus points. Initially, I had Book in my bet, but he was ruled out. So now it's just very Thunder heavy. But maybe I jinx the Thunder or I win. It's a win-win either way. Plus 310 with a 25% profit boost.
Mr. Freckled Mamba?
Trying to get into the more positive, not into the sense today. Dillon Brooks over 25-plus points. Dillon Brooks over 0.5 stocks. Colin Gillespie hitting 2 threes tonight. All of that is a measly plus 250 with a 25% profit boost.
Sometimes he's got to take the layup.
Good check down.
I love being in the positive, and I do not want to leave.
Yeah. I'm taking a layup, and I'm 260 in the negative.
Chip
But we'll
away.
see.
Want to see a win.
Chip away.
Yeah, I just need to see one go through the
See a
hoop.
win.
I'm shooting 1 of 10 from deep right now. I need to get it to 2 of 11. In the chat, we have Musician for Life 22 says we need to sign Jeremy Sohan. Well, guess what? Espo and I talked about potentially signing Jeremy Sohan. That's going to come out in an audio-only episode tomorrow, so keep your ears out for that one in your audio feeds. Make sure you're subscribed to those. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're following the show at PHNX_Suns. You can follow Ayrton behind the Mac at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Espo at Espo. You can follow Gil at Gil McGregor _. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. This is our Suns must-win meter on the way out of here. It's a high one, but this was before Booker and Green were ruled out. I'm assuming some people might be lower on this now.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
6.5, 7.5.
And then our...
Okay, we could give N Stacker. Did you just see what N Stacker
what he
put
said.
in there? And Ayrton will appreciate this. He got a Topps Chrome basketball hobby box, and he just pulled a Cooper autograph refractor. Oh man, now
So
you're
drinks
speaking my
are on
language.
N-Stacker.
I'm nerding out with that
Now
right now.
we
All
know
right.
N-Stacker can get to a bunch of games, just pulling cards, selling them.
little
Let me
con-
hold $1. I need it. Can I hold $260 N-Stacker? We'll give you our score predictions over in our watch alongs. Make sure you jump over there right now. We'll talk to y'all in a couple of minutes.
It will, Joe.
Whoa, all silly like the mayor.